At the end of the last episode, 3 of the 4 eggs had hatched into tiny white fluffy chicks. Would the 4th egg hatch? And what changes will we see as the chicks get bigger? Keep watching to find out in part 5 of Tales from the Towers. One of the things that never fails to astound me is how gentle adult peregrines can be. Even when they're grabbing a chick by the scruff of its neck and positioning it in the right place in the scrape. And yet that beak is for ripping flesh and biting things and killing things, and yet they can be as gentle as a gentle thing. One thing we sometimes see is Mr. P bringing in food and it being rejected by Mrs. P. You can kind of see why she's rejected this piece, and he's flowing off with it. Throughout this video there are quite a few feeding sequences, and I make no apologies for that, because now that the chicks have all hatched, that's really their job for the next few weeks. The adults are going to be kept very, very busy, going backwards and forwards, bringing in food, particularly the male. The female will stay in the scrape a lot of the time until she needs to get out for a leg stretch. But their job now is to feed those chicks and to get them to grow as rapidly as they do grow, and you'll notice that over the next few videos. And so here we have the first feeding sequence, and that's the male who's just brought in some food and left it with the female, and she's accepted it. There are occasions when she kind of sneers at it and he takes it away again, and we might see one of those later, but she's obviously accepted this, and it's really just what we call a scrag end. It's something that he's had stashed outside the cathedral somewhere, and he's brought it in, and she's showing no inclination to feed it to the chicks whatsoever. She's just taking the tastiest bits for herself. Let's see if she does actually feed it to the chicks. So she's moving it around very close to where the chicks are. Whether she's feeding them now, it's difficult to say, because she's blocking our view. But you can hear them squeaking or chirping in the background, and I'm pretty sure she is feeding them now. Unlike some birds, primarily seabirds, and obviously the peregrine is not a seabird. Unlike those birds, the peregrine doesn't pass partially digested food. It doesn't regurgitate food and give it to the chicks. It gives them raw meat direct from the carcass, albeit at this stage very, very small pieces. Feed complete. The adult peregrine is now going to fly off with it. I think she's going to stash it somewhere else on the cathedral. I think there's still some useful meat there, but let's wait and see. All of this video takes place over the course of a single day, Thursday the 24th of April, as you can see from the timeline in the bottom left. It's obviously edited, condensed by me, so that we haven't got long sequences where very little is happening, but actually a lot is happening. So that was the male just coming in. He hadn't brought any food. He was just checking up that she was on the brood. He's perfectly happy, and he's probably just said, oh, right, well I'll go and catch something else. Leave it to me. Time for a bit of a leg stretch, a bit of a wing stretch now. She's been sitting there for a while. She very carefully steps over the chicks so that she doesn't hurt them with those huge talons. And she's just checking everything out, going for a quick fly. Let's see how long she's going to be away for. As if on cue, the bells sounding signal the arrival of one of the adults. This is Mr. P. He's often quite thrilled to get a chance to sit on his chicks. Mum does tend to take the lion's share of those duties, whilst he has to fly around trying to catch things. About 15 minutes later, and there's a feed delivery. Our adult birds around about this time were both very similar sizes, and they both have quite a distinctive eye patch, which doesn't help me distinguish the two. Pretty sure that was the female bringing in some food and the male's tearing it up to feed, but if I'm wrong, it's the other way round, but I'm pretty sure. He's actually struggling to strip anything that's going to be really good for feeding tiny chicks at the moment. He's mostly getting bits off with feathers attached and bits of sinew and stuff, which he's going, well, that's no good for them. I can obviously digest that because I've got a fully developed crop, but he's trying to find the tasty bits, the tiny bits, the morsels that he can feed to the chick. Either that, or he's just being very greedy and going, well, I haven't eaten for a while, maybe I'll better eat something now, and then I'll feed them later. But anyway, let's wait and see. I'm very impressed by how delicately the adult bird feeds the chicks and makes sure that they've all got enough to eat. It is quite wonderful. Little bit more chick moving so that she can settle down over them and get them all nice and warm under her tummy. They don't seem to object to being picked up like that, but it never looks very graceful. Another quick visit just to check that everything's alright, and it does seem to be. So better go and catch something. And time to go for another quick stretch. Getting late now, so last fly. Right then, both Mum and Dad putting in an appearance now, and they've brought some food, so let's see what happens. I sometimes think they both turn up at the same time by accident, and they realise, well, I don't really need to be here. Everything's being handled by my mate. I might as well go. And perhaps that's exactly what's happened this time. I'm pretty sure this is food prep that's going on, trying to find the best bits to feed to the chicks rather than just I'm going to eat all of this. If you look at what they've brought in, and it's impossible to say what bird it once was, he's got to pull off a load of feathers, get through some skin before he gets to the bits that aren't too chewy for baby peregrines to eat. Okay, so either he's nearly there or he is just going to eat it all himself. But the chicks are making their presence felt, so he must have a fatherly instinct to go over and feed them. And I think he's going to do that now. I love the way they hop when they're holding something in one of their talons. Yes, here he is. He's going to give them some food. And it's really delicate the way he passes the merest morsel of meat to the chick. And they're also very careful to make sure that all the chicks get fed. Sometimes it looks like they're neglecting one, but they all do get fed. So it's they're very good. They're just very good parents. And that's the end of the feed. He's going to fly off now, taking the remains with him. There's not much there now, really just a few feathers. Bye. Thanks for coming. And the chicks, well, they still look animated, but I think they're well fed. So settling down now over the chicks, getting ready for the night ahead. Don't forget this is part 5 of Tales from the Towers, and as long as you subscribe and switch notifications on, you'll get to know as soon as part 6 is available.